So this guy is Samson Lukowicz. Samson Lukowicz is the manager of David Benavidez. And he did a couple of interviews a few days ago. This is one of them on Fight Hub TV. And he's basically saying that he doesn't see the David Benavidez-Dimitri Bivol fight happening because, as I suspected when Turki Al-Sheikh came out and said that he doesn't want to see Bivol Benavidez anymore, there's been an impasse in negotiations behind the scenes. And it's centered around the fact that Benavidez, according to Lukowicz, is unwilling to fight in Saudi Arabia. And Bivol is basically under Turki Al-Sheikh's instructions, it would seem at this point, or at least influence, because Turki Al-Sheikh put that interview out where he said that Bivol knows who's been good to him in the past and so on and so forth. It was almost like a veiled threat, as if to say, yeah, you can go and fight Benavidez on PBC in the United States, but don't come back looking for a payday with Riyadh Season again afterwards. That was what I got from it anyway. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. So you got Turkey on one side, you got Al Haymon PBC on the other side. Both sides want it their way, and therefore it looks like the fight is not going to happen. Now, Benavidez's people are willing to let the situation go to a purse bid because there is an allotted amount of time for the two sides to negotiate. If they can't come to an agreement, then it goes to a purse bid. This is how mandatory situations go. But in this particular instance, David Benavidez is actually the WBC interim champion. So it's like a slightly enhanced version of a mandatory. And what often happens with these interim champions is if the full champion gets stripped of the belt, rather than having to fight somebody for the vacant belt, the interim champion just gets elevated to full champion without having to do that. That could be the case here with David Benavidez. If Dimitri Bivol fails to go ahead with a purse bid and basically pulls out of the fight, refuses to go through with it, then Benavidez could be elevated to full WBC champion in relatively short order. We've heard that there's this potential issue between the WBC and Turki Al-Sheikh over Al-Sheikh and Dana White's new boxing league, although there is some type of WBC tournament which is taking place in conjunction with the Saudis. Again, Turki Al-Sheikh being involved in that as far as I'm aware. So it's kind of contradictory, isn't it? On one hand, they seem to be working together and you would think things are all good. But on the other hand, the WBC was sending out emails, apparently, telling several of their champions to publicly endorse the WBC and talk on their social media about how much they love being WBC champions. Okay, so I don't know what's going on there, but in any event, Samson Lukowicz in this interview said that the loyalty for Benavidez here is to the WBC. And it was interesting, he said, the loyalty right now is to the WBC. Well, if it's loyalty right now, then it's not really loyalty, is it? It's convenience, and that's okay. You wouldn't expect anyone in their right mind to be loyal to an organization like the WBC. They are a law unto themselves, and they do what's best for themselves pretty much at all times. So yeah, this is a disappointing situation as far as I'm concerned, because I would much rather see David Benavidez versus Dimitri Bivol rather than Bivol Beterbiev 3 next. I've got no problem with Bivol Beterbiev 3. I just don't want to see it in the next fight for Dimitri Bivol. I'd rather see him fight David Benavidez first. I think it would be very competitive. Yes, I would give the edge to Bivol, but I would not count David Benavidez out by any stretch of the imagination. I think that outside of Beterbiev, Benavidez represents the most difficult challenge for Dimitri Bivol personally. So yeah, to see his manager come out and say this, like, nah, no chance the fight's happening. We're going to basically wait it out and wait for the WBC to strip Dimitri Bivol and then get elevated to full champion. And he's very bullish as well about the purse bid, because the interviewer asked him, if it went to a purse bid, would you be willing to fight in Saudi if the Saudis won the purse bid? And Samson basically shot down the question immediately. He said, why are you assuming that the Saudis will win the purse bid? What, you don't think that PBC have got money? Well, of course, PBC can, in some instances, stump up money. The question is, can they stump up the amount of money that the Saudis potentially could? And that's rhetorical, obviously, because they can't. However, Turki Al-Sheikh said that he's not going to bid on this fight. He's not interested in engaging in a purse bid. It's either his way or no way. Another interesting thing that was said in this interview is that the Saudis offered Benavidez a fight for a lot of money against somebody else, not Dimitri Bivol. They would like it to be Benavidez Bivol, but failing that, they were willing to offer Benavidez something else. And it would seem, the best guess of a lot of people, including myself, is that it was Callum Smith. And he was asked directly about Callum Smith in this interview, Samson was, and he said that's a fight that they may entertain at some stage, but there are lots of fights out there for David Benavidez. So yeah, disappointing situation from my perspective. But what say you? Is this a fight that you care about? Do you not care about? Let me know in the comment section below. And of course, when Turki Al-Sheikh came into boxing, whenever it was, 12, 18 months ago, he was supposed to put an end to all of this silly boxing politics that has prevented so many big fights happening over the years. And credit where it's due, Turki Al-Sheikh has certainly been able to make a lot of fights that otherwise wouldn't have been made. But now it's like he's falling into the same mindset of the promoters whose heads he was supposed to bang together, like, the Eddie Hearns and Frank Warrens of the world and Bob Arum in years gone by. He's fallen into the same mindset that they were in, and particularly PBC, by saying, look, it's either my way or the highway. Either we do it on my terms, a particular fight, or the fight doesn't happen at all. And this is how boxing promoters have been behaving for years. So it's disappointing to see Turkey becoming part of the problem now. Are you surrounded by mindless bots in human form who adhere to the norm and blindly conform, who swallow all the mainstream BS and actually ridicule you for questioning things? Do you wish you had more free-thinking individuals in your life to network and converse with? Well, look no further. We're right here. Come and join the Brotherhood of Reason on Patreon. You'll gain access to my weekly topical content where we take deep dives on an endless variety of subjects, as well as my vast back catalogue of podcasts, videos, interviews, movie decodings, and my Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. You'll also get to talk and network with myself and hundreds of other people in our members chat. You can enjoy all this via the Patreon app or on desktop and download all my podcasts in high-quality MP3. There's no contract, no commitment. You can cancel at any time, just like Netflix, but it's a hell of a lot cheaper. Just download the app from the Play Store or the App Store, or simply visit patreon.com on a web browser. Then head on over to my page and select the tier called the Brotherhood of Reason. All the links are in the description box below. And just a quick money-saving tip for Apple users. If you purchase your Patreon subscription on the desktop site or on Android, then you'll avoid the ridiculous 30% fee that Apple charges for purchases made on the iOS app. So if you're on iPhone or iPad, save yourself some money by buying your subscription on the actual Patreon website or on Android, because it's a lot cheaper. Once you've made that initial purchase, you can then use the Patreon app on your iPhone or iPad thereafter to access and enjoy your content as normal.